Right off the bat, right now, I'm going to give you 3 great pieces of advice that can truly make you much, much more influential and have greater impact in your life and business. First of all, I want you to begin to answer this question, which I give particularly to younger people, and younger is anyone under 70. I'm on that very border, okay? You're younger. You've got something to achieve. You've got something yet to live out. All right, here we go. How are you different? There's millions of people out there, hundreds and thousands of them. And we always say, oh, everybody's unique and everybody's different and everybody's special. Well, no, that's not usually true. But here's something that is true. Everybody has a story. Think about that. Everybody has a story. Now, look at your story. Can you answer the question, how are you different? What was if that was kind of a resume interview question? How are you different? How would you answer that? Now, don't ask for more explanations. Don't say, well, what do you mean by that, or in what way? Just, how are you different? I want you to answer that question. What would be the answer? Get ready to answer that question. Now, one of the things that powerfully impacted my life was the writings of Elie Wiesel. The young man, as a mere boy, who saw the horrors of the Holocaust, survived them, and then spent his entire life in an attempt to not only inform and educate and engage people to make sure that truly the theme of the Holocaust, Rememberers Never Again, would truly be true. Elie Wiesel was a powerful writer, but he was also a very powerful communicator. And one of the things I learned from him was this often opening technique. Now, I don't know how many speeches you've been to that are just plain boring. Most of them are. And they begin boring. Oh, it's so good to be here. Are you all glad to be here? Raise your hand, you're glad to be here. Or they start with some silly joke. Hey, let me tell you, whenever you have an opportunity to make any kind of presentation, any kind, Elie Wiesel, oftentimes in one of his presentations, it would simply be almost a bare stage with a simple spotlight and a stool. And Elie Wiesel would come out, oftentimes dressed totally in black, sit down on the stool, look at the audience and say, let me tell you a story. In 3 seconds, he had the audience. Some of the most powerful words ever. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story. Or, please let me tell you a story. And that's how you begin every presentation, and you start with a story. You may also discover something that has been very helpful to me and has always gotten me greater involvement. You're at a social. You're at a networking thing. Oh, I hate networking parties. By the way, networking mixers, parties, they don't work. You know, you might as well go to a bar instead. That's just craziness. People out there trying to pick on each other to get business. Don't do it. Stop networking that way. Start networking in other ways. But here we go. Oh, well, hey, where are you from? What business are you in? What do you do? Where are you from? What business are you in? What do you do? And we get the usual predictable answers. This is what I say. Hi. Hey, what's your story? What's your story? Now, oftentimes people say, well, what do you mean by that? I said, well, you know, everybody has a story. What's yours? Well, they say, well, I don't have a story. I said, well, of course you do. Everybody has a story. What's your story? Where were you born? Let me tell you, some of the most powerful relational stuff that you can do is simply to begin presentations by saying, let me tell you a story. And to start asking people, what's your story? And then you listen. Shut up. Put that business card away and listen to their story. I one times had a person say to me after they recommended me, and it was rather fun to find that I asked the person who had hired me, well, why did you take her recommendation? And she said this to me, because when she was talking about you, she said, Stan Hustad will listen to you like you have never been listened to before. Yeah, much of my success is due to the fact that I tell stories, and more important than that, I listen to other people's stories. The future belongs to the storyteller. We'll be back.